Okay, actions thing. Everybody's okay? Pretty simple, right? John, you there?
Yeah.
So here, I
Okay.
was looking at this. I was going to transform, warp, and then right here.
Can you share your screen?
Screen, please?
Oh, sorry. I don't know why I always do this every day. Right here. Where is it? This. If you change this, it pops the grid back in there.
Okay.
And then if you go 4x4, smaller,
Okay.
5x5, smaller, and then you get your all your tools again.
Okay. That makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. Doesn't make sense to get rid of it though.
Yeah, they made it into an option, so it's more confusing.
That's Adobe. By the way, if you guys got to get any kind of gear before fall, start looking for it now. Or for work or whatever. It's like everything's hard to find now. I don't know if you guys have figured that out yet, but I'm just looking for a webcam. I went to Best Buy yesterday, out. Within 250 miles, they're out of webcams. Fry's is out of webcams. I just found one in LA. I got to drive out and get it today.
Yeah, it's been that way since since last semester.
Well, it's been like that since this thing started.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, since whenever mid-semester, since all that started.
What makes me furious about this? Hang on a sec. Why is it doing that? Hang on.
I had a hard time just finding a USB-C adapter,
Yeah.
for my computer. Yeah, super difficult.
Yeah, I went out found to get one of those too. The adapter goes from USB to the small one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found one, but what's infuriating to me about this is that this is all because of one idiot. Okay, and it's like I've said this for years, and I know I don't give a shit what anybody's politics are, but it's like I've said this for years that Republicans are trying to drag us back into like the dark ages, and here we are. Like now I can't even get normal stuff anymore. It's a big giant hassle. Because this is like the 30th thing that's just a normal thing that I just go out and get. And now everything's a hassle. I just had to call all the way out to Fairfax in LA to find a webcam. And they have one. And I told them to hold it for me. So now I have to drive out there. It's 2 hours each way to get a webcam, or to get an adapter cable, or to get food, or to get, it's just like, I can't believe we're living in a thing now where like everything's a hassle. It's like, thanks, Trump, you're awesome. Anyway.
Absolutely, yeah.
And thanks, Republicans. This is so much better than it was under Obama. And they're still bitching about Obama, by the way. It's like, how at this point can you complain about any previous politician?
Real quick, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Noah asked in the chat how he could tie this into blacksmithing or metallurgy.
And what, this current situation?
No, I believe that was before you started. I think he means our final project.
Yeah, the final project.
I was going to say blacksmithing because we'll probably be making horseshoes pretty soon because we won't have cars anymore. The next thing will be like, we're back to horse and buggy.
Does that mean horse is back on the menu too?
Yeah, probably. Well, I mean, when did the food shortages start?
Exactly.
I go to the store up here, the state. I mean, I've never seen anything like this. I've been around a long time. I've never gone into stores and like 90% of the shelves are empty. I mean, that's crazy. You know what I mean? And that we're one of the countries that has the worst outbreak of this. We're supposed to be leaders. And now we're behaving like some third world country where, we have some moron in charge just telling everybody not to do healthy stuff. It's just bizarre. And I'm just tired. I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of hearing this shit show every day. But anyway. And the reason I'm pissed off is now I got to drive 4 hours to go get a webcam. You know, normally you can go to Best Buy and get a webcam, and there's a Best Buy within 15 minutes of anywhere. Anyway, okay, so everybody didn't have any problems with the actions then, right? Okay, that's good. You know, one thing that I didn't talk about, and this is 2 seconds, and I don't really, probably the reason I never talk about it is I never use it. But just so you know, if I do a closed shape, and then I go, let's pick a color. And I go to, it's got to be down here. Paint bucket, I can just click it and it'll fill it. Okay, but it's got to be a closed shape. If it's not a closed shape, when I go to fill it, it's going to spill out. Hang on. That make sense? I never use it because it always feels, and not to say that it is this, just for me, it always feels like a Mac paint tool or something. It just feels like some like kids paint tool tool.
Kid picks.
Yeah, kid picks or something like that, right? And by the way, if I go on YouTube and I go, people doing amazing things with a paint bucket tool, somebody's doing something amazing with it that I never thought of, you know?
It's also very messy. If you don't have really hard edges, it's all pixelated and a bunch of BS.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's just, I mean, there's probably places where it makes sense, but the problem is when you start doing that outlining thing and then filling everything, it starts to look really amateurish. You know what I mean? And again, there's a place for that, but I don't know. Anyway, I mean, who cares what I think of it? If it works for you, use it. Okay. I think that's the only two things I just want to, I don't want to introduce anything new today because I just want to go over these thumbnails. This is the thumbnails I put under assignment. If I don't get them today, that's 10 points. I'm just not going to assign the 10 points to it because they should be done today. Oops.
I was thinking for mine, I was trying to like just render something on Photoshop for like trying to like be applicable to like product design.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you check mine out, but I just tried to do like a sketch over like a picture like the Tesla Cybertruck, and then like I used the pen tool to try to like block some of the stuff out, and like I just kind of want to like for the project like turn that image and then like make it into like a nice like product designy look of it.
What I would do here, let me find it. What am I doing? Hang on. Oh, so it's like a truck thing?
Yeah, so like you check the layers. So like there's like the original one, and then like the other ones, and then like I just kind of want to like ideally for the whole thing just clean it up obviously and like make it look.
Okay, I have a friend of mine that does stuff like this. He usually starts them in Illustrator. You don't have to start them in Illustrator, but let me see if I can find it. By the way, I was going to show you something. Hang on. I sent you an email. Did you get my email?
I saw you sent me some this morning. Yeah, the school in where was it? Illinois. Detroit.
But the main thing is, I'm just trying to make you aware of some of the top ones.
Yeah, I saw they had a lot of subcategories of all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like you go into.
Okay, so when we were talking about San Francisco State.
Yeah,
I want to see blah, blah, blah. I want to see this kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
At Zenith, we are a Detroit-based company that designs outstanding products for.
But I want to see. Of course, now it's all slow. Hang on. There it goes. That. I want to see that.
Yeah, definitely.
And that. And prototyping, clay modeling, 3D, CAD, all that stuff, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no.
But I really got to see this, like these ideation sketches.
Definitely.
That's what worries me about, and I'm going to go down the rabbit hole a little more on that. But
yeah, definitely. I definitely understand how important that is too. I'm not
because it's just I mean, like if you look here, oops, you know, this stuff's great, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's product
Definitely.
design.
No, that all looks great.
And I think I told you this, they're starting to do this thing now where they call like web design, product design, and UX product design. And it's like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, I've started to see it too. After you told me about that, when I was looking a little bit more, I saw a lot of people saying product design when it was UX, like app design, that they were really talking about.
That's not.
But they call it product design.
Yeah, that's not product design.
Yeah.
That's not product design. And I almost feel like, and I don't know where that came from because it's fairly new, but it feels like another one of those things where you go, and I'm not saying UX and web design isn't hard, it is.
Mm-hmm.
But it feels almost like they're just attributing, like this is a monster skill set. Product design is kind of a monster skill set.
Yeah.
And now you're throwing it at somebody who doesn't have any of that skill set, but they get that title. And it's like, that's not what they do. And that's confusing when you're hiring, because when you put it out there and you go, we're looking for a product designer, then you get all these UX people now and web people are going to apply and clog up your
what you're actually looking for.
Yeah, your candidate pool.
Yeah.
So now you got an extra 500 resumes in there. None of them have to do with the product or with the position. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
But like this kind of stuff is what I want to see. You know?
No, definitely. Yeah. No.
And then that last page with all the rendered stuff and the prototypes and all that kind of stuff. You know, and
yeah, the modeling, all that. Yeah, for sure.
So, you know, this kind of room is what I think you should be seeing. Where'd it go? Like this, these kind of presentation rooms.
Yeah. I did a lot of those things when I was working on my internship. Like as an intern, it was mostly just me pinning those boards like all day.
Yeah.
So I've seen a lot of that.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
I had an intern, he was helping me on the Wall-E thing, and that's what he did. He did a lot of like, you know, foam coring stuff and putting stuff together and all that, because I had a big presentation at Pixar, and he put that together for me.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, I'll definitely look at that a lot more later today.
You just want to make sure if you're investing in your education, that you're getting out of it what you want.
No, absolutely, man. I totally.
And then there was one other thing.
You point me in the right direction.
Oh, let me see if I can find this guy real quick for your project. Hang on.
Yeah.
Because he's done some step-by-steps on here, but he's kind of doing what you're talking about. Hang on. No, it's not good. Hang on. They changed up Facebook, right?
Yeah, they did.
You know, I mean, I guess that's good, but it's like
They do it all the time.
Yeah, it's annoying. I mean, it's good they do it, but it's annoying.
Yeah.
And if I can't find it right here, I'll find it and I'll post it.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But he does. Okay, so after we left Disney, he found this niche doing like designs for like trucking companies, and
Oh, okay.
he's like a total hot rod dude.
Gotcha.
He was a big airbrusher dude in like the 80s.
That's funny.
Like he was in Airbrush Action Magazine, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He's also got a big God damn it, I can't find him. Let me look under albums. Hang on. Here we go. God, usually he has these things all over the place. Here we go. He's sort of like this. This one isn't all the way. Yeah, it is almost finished. Let's see. So, you know, he'll start off with his line work, right?
Yeah.
And he just starts building you know.
Yeah.
He's very good at it. Trying to find the really cool ones. He has some really cool ones in here.
That airbrushing stuff's pretty funny.
Big Daddy Roth right there.
Yeah.
Hang on. There's the old airbrush days right there. Where are these things? Usually has a million of them on here. But I might. How much drawing have you had?
Not that much. Not that much at all.
Let's see this one maybe. Hang on. Okay, so this gives you kind of a good example of hang on. Of how he blocks stuff. So here he starts rendering, right? And a lot of that you could do with the dodge and burn tool, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So, and then look, here's this whole block into the car. Then I could start coming in here and just dodging and burning and getting a little bit of rendering on there, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And there he is with his family.
That's good. Yeah.
So, you know, it's very similar to painting. You're just blocking in. And then you're I'm trying to find the ones he does, because he does these ones that are really rendered out. I don't know what he's doing right now. The thing that was kind of interesting about that, though, is like most of the stuff, because he would do shirt designs, all the stuff for all these, like, there's a whole sort of redneck fan base around like trucks and stuff like that.
Yeah, totally.
So he started doing, and then if you look, like if you go to a truck stop, which I used to go into truck stops to sketch people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a whole weird subculture, and it's between the cracks, you know, because like nobody goes to truck stops unless you're a trucker.
Yeah.
But the stuff they wear is just awful. You know, they wear these big like rendered American flag shirts and like really bad car stuff shirts.
No,
so he kind of looked at it and went, "Oh, I can take my monster skill set that I just walked out of Disney with and start applying it to this niche thing." And he got a lot of business doing it because nobody else was doing it. He had no competition.
Yeah, definitely.
And sometimes it's just smart to do those bread and butter things like that, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty interesting.
But he's just, you know, now he's back, you know, I don't know what he's doing right now. Then he's trying to be a fine artist, but he's just not a fine artist. That's not his thing. Okay. So you kind of got the right idea. Let's see. But number one, I get really accurate with my shapes.
Yeah, I was trying to.
That's actually not that bad. And
Yeah.
like here,
I used the pen tool. It definitely was like a little difficult, but I've definitely smoothed those out and all that.
here's the thing, and I'm not saying to go learn, but it is important. Look, let me show you something. It is important that you learn to go back and forth with different programs for different things.
Yeah.
So if I take this, because there's a tool in here that I don't believe is in Photoshop. Hang on. So let's pull this into. Zoom puts stuff in front of other stuff and you can't open it. Okay.
Yeah, it's really weird.
So if I pull this into Illustrator, the reason I would, and same thing with the guy I just showed you, the reason he starts it in Illustrator. And by the way, you already know how to use the pen tool. I would do that, and then look, and I'm only doing this just because how I would handle this, okay? And I'm not saying you have to do it this way because you don't know Illustrator, but you do know the pen tool. And then there's only maybe two other tools you'd use in Illustrator to do this. But if you look, here's our layers again, just like Photoshop, right? So I'm going to lock this layer off right here. I'm going to lower the opacity, so dim images to, let's say, 35%. And then that's probably a little too much. Let's go to 45. And then I'm going to lock that just like in Photoshop, right? And then I'm going to go up here, and this is my line layer. But the difference here is when I go to my pen tool, so you have, instead of having a foreground background, you have a fill and a line, okay? So I'm going to get rid of the fill. Just use the line. Get on my layer, my inking layer. And there's a couple ways I could do this. What is it? There it is. When I go in here to do this, this is the beauty of it, watch. When I get like you have a couple of kinks in your line, right?
Yeah.
The difference here is like right here. Let's turn this off for a second. Right there, see that?
Yeah, yeah.
So, but what I've got this tool right here that's called a smooth tool, and all I have to do is just swipe over it and it smooths it out for me, right?
Yeah, that's really nice.
And I can double click this and adjust how much of that tool I have,
yeah.
right? So it just makes it, and a lot of times if I'm doing something like that,
that would have helped a lot last night.
Yeah, I'll just come in and do this. Go to my swatches. God, they did the same thing with this. It's so annoying. Blah, blah, blah. Now I have to open my swatch panel because for some reason, just like on Photoshop, they want to make this a big pain in the ass. Okay, so I'm just going to grab a gray or something. So now I can go, boom, then go on and make my other shapes, and then I can just drop the whole thing into Photoshop, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And then I can go,
when you drop it in Photoshop, what file format would it be? Still PSD or?
It would just be like, let's take this, C. So I just copied it.
Oh, got you.
And then I'm going to go back to Photoshop, and then it's going to go new. Oops, I don't want to do that. Go Command V, pixels. I don't want a smart object right now. Oh, God, that's so annoying. I don't know what that is. I've never had that happen before. Hang on. Why is it doing that? Well, maybe it's, okay, so let's just do this. Wait, let me try one more time. Let's do a smart object. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that before. So I'm just going to do this. Or actually, let's do this. I'm going to see if it's a mode thing. No, it's not. It might be a color space thing. I'm just going to drop it into a different one and see if that works. Okay, I don't know what was going on with that. But what I was going to say is, once I had all my stuff in there,
yeah,
I could probably go, you probably can't do it all the way with everything. I'm going to lock transparent pixels here, and then go to the burn tool. And I'd say this is about a mid value, so I got it on mid-tones here. It's too much. Let's get a softer brush. I could say the light is coming from upper right.
Yeah.
And then I could go over to my dodge tool. Too much. I'm going to drop down the exposure. And I could start to render these things out.
Definitely. Yeah, that I think that's what I'm shooting for, to like for the end of this to look
Now
like.
you got to be careful when it gets like too muddy looking.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I'd be careful of. You might be able to go, and I don't know if this will work. Let's try this. Let's pick this color. And then I'm going to go to color burn. Let's see what that does. Oh, it dropped it in now. That's cool.
There you go.
That's better though. Okay. So let's go and see if we can go. Now I'm going to go back here and I'm going to lock transparent pixels again.
Does that just mean locking your layer?
No, what it means is, oh, that's because I'm in Illustrator. Hang on. What that does is it does exactly what it says. So right now, if I turn this off, the only thing that's an object on here is this, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I go, and this all out here is transparent, correct?
Yep.
So if I go lock transparent pixels, it's only going to let me paint on the actual object and not on anything that's transparent.
Oh, gotcha. I
So
understand.
it just kind of makes a selection out of it.
Yeah.
But let's try this. We've got this. I don't want that. I want that. And I'm going to go, it's on color burn. It's at 100%. That's probably too much. You know, and that can give me a little bit of color in my shadow, right?
Yep.
And sometimes the dodge tool, a dodge and burn tool by itself will work fine. Or I can just go in here, select this, and go, I'm going to make a little bit of a darker value.
Yeah.
And just do it that way. Oops, I'm still in color burn. Hang on. Go back to normal. You know.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of different ways I can do it, depending on what I'm doing. If I'm doing stuff on gray, I'm probably just going to use a dodge and burn tool because it's just going to go to a darker value gray for the most part, or a lighter value gray, right? But if I'm with a color and I start looking at the color and I go, sometimes it'll work fine, but sometimes I go, that just looks too dirty. And then I might just pick another way of doing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got you for sure. Yeah.
So you put down those flat shapes, and then you just start forming them.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
Another one to look at here for this. Let's see if I can find one.
Yeah, I think one of the not difficult, but one of the parts that I'm gonna have to work on when I get there is that left corner of the truck right there where the light's hitting it, and then it has the
Here?
no in the front, like by
here.
the light. Yeah, at the top with the where the light's really hitting it, where it's really white.
Oh, right here.
Yeah. With the edges and stuff right there. I think that's gonna be like one of the more difficult parts of going into it. But
It's easy. I'll walk you through it. That's why I want to start this now so we can start working on these in class.
yeah.
It's not hard. I'll show you how to do that.
Okay, for sure.
Damn it, of course I can't find any of these now. Why not show these things? I don't get it. I have some books. Yeah. Let's try this. That's annoying. I can't find any of the. Anyway, Sid Mead. Do you know who Sid Mead is?
Mm-mm.
Okay, you need to know who Sid Mead is. Anyway, he did everything. Go ahead.
How do I spell it?
SYD MEAD. So Sid Mead was this monster
Oh, yeah.
transportation guy. Oops, I don't want that.
We were just attacked. That's right.
I
About
think
4
we
a.m.,
looked at this guy for the Blade Runner stuff,
was
right?
visited by
Wait,
four
hang on.
masked men who were likely Chinese communists, and they came.
Well, that's that. Anyway, that's that weird newspaper or whatever it is. So Sid Mead would just do all this crazy. This is all gouache, okay?
Yeah.
But
Wait.
there's some. I have some modern images of his how he used Photoshop to render product.
Yeah, no. Send me
I'll
those.
find it.
Yeah, definitely.
Like all this stuff is just wash.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, he's got some
Especially
serious
those,
shit.
like chrome colors.
Huh?
I said especially those like chrome colors in that other one.
Yeah, his stuff is kind of nuts. These aren't even the impressive ones. Look at this one.
Oh yeah, wow. And that's all just like the line work and stuff.
That's Marker.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he was a monster.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But like this.
Yeah. It's like all like that very smooth, like before Photoshop looking smooth though.
What's weird about his stuff, because you never get to see the originals of these things, and they're pretty big. Anyway, he had a show at a Forest Lawn, and whenever you look at something, you go, just naturally start deconstructing how they did it.
Yeah.
He was one of the only people I've ever looked at, and I was like, I don't know how he did that. They looked so perfect. I mean, they actually look kind of digital, but they're gouache, and you can't even see like any sort of mark of the hand on them. They're just absolutely perfect. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I finally figured out he just mixes that gouache to the exact right consistency, to the exact right value, to the exact right color, and goes, whoop, puts it down and done.
It's just like actually skill.
Well, he's like a robot.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was super weird.
Oh, you got it.
He looked super normal, but like the way he talked and everything was super weird. But anyway, that's how I would handle that. And then you got to figure out how you're going to handle those wheels, right?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. But I think at first I'm gonna try to just get that whole upper part.
I would just do it exactly what you're doing. Do it as an exercise in rendering.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to like use the pen tool and stuff too, even though it's a little frustrating right now.
Yeah, I know, but you got to know that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. And by the way, if you just get in it and you're doing it all the time, it will very quickly become not irritating.
Yeah, definitely.
And you'll realize the value of it. You'll go, holy shit, I can do this stuff so fast with this thing.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you know what you're doing, right?
Yep.
And you know what? Look at this kind of styling too. Hang on. You could kind of do it sort of in this trans kind of style. Hang on. I mean, this is all trans stuff right here, like that.
Yeah, definitely.
This is just marker renderings and stuff, right?
Yeah.
You could do that kind of thing to it, like give it that kind of shiny, chromy kind of.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know exactly what direction I want it to look like once I like got it all out, but
go look at a lot of stuff and get inspired.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I want to do something like that.
Yeah.
Because the good thing is it's not going to be apples to apples, so you can't just copy it. You're going to have to go, I like that. How do I translate it to what I'm doing?
Oh yeah,
but sure. Rule one is get those shapes right.
Definitely.
Okay. Yeah. And then you're just going to go in and good. This is actually a really good exercise in rendering for you. I think it'd be really, really helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm trying to take this one seriously too. So
yeah, the way you're going to do it in real life is you go in on Cintiq and you do just like these guys do in Marker. You do the same thing, like the exact same thing, except you do it digital.
Yeah, I'm getting used to the tablet and stuff too. I got the Wacom one.
Get yourself a sketchbook.
Yeah.
I just get a pen, like a G2, like a Pilot G2. You can get them at the market.
Okay.
Or a fiber tip pen or whatever, or ballpoint.
Yeah.
And start going in and just sketching stuff from life. I'll do a little thing with you later on and show you sort of how to get started with that. Okay.
For sure.
But let's do that offline. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because I don't want Elan butting in and pulling her crazy nonsense. Okay. All right. So we know what we're doing, right?
Yep. Sounds good.
I love that idea. I love it as a rendering exercise.
Definitely. That's what I thought too. So
Mina,
Hello.
what do you think? What are we looking at here?
So for the thumbnail, I wanted to do not an oil painting, but just brush up more on my technique in painting with the wedge in Newport Beach.
Oh,
And so
okay.
I think I used I added one of the photos for my reference on the file, and so that's what I was basing off of. And so it was just like a quick sketch drawing. I want the main focus to be the wave and the surfer inside the barrel hanging on for dear life. And so that's the path I want to go for.
Is that at the wedge?
I'm sorry?
That's at the wedge?
Yeah, that's at the wedge.
That place is hairy, man.
It's gnarly. You can just see people, like, even in July 4th, there was a big swell that came through, and it was just monstrous. Like, people, like, risked their lives just trying to ride, like, 10 seconds of that wave. It's ridiculous.
Look how close he is to the shore.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people, like, break their necks on that. It's really dangerous. But
When I was a kid, and because I surfed a lot when I was a kid, that was one of the only place I think I can remember I was like, I don't know about that, you know?
yeah, I'm
There's all these older dudes getting their ass kicked in there, and I was like 13. I'm like, I don't know if that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so how are you going to approach this? Are you going to do this as like a grisaille painting? How are you going to do it?
Yeah, as a grisaille, just start with really big, loose blocks, and then just try to hone it down and try to specify as I go forward in time.
Are you going to knock it in as a black and white thing and then glaze over it?
I haven't found any ink drawings or black and white. Can I do that with a photo as well?
Well, you could. I would go in. The way I would probably approach this kind of thing, if I was, just using this as reference. The way I would probably block it in. I'm not going to be a slave to the reference, number one.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd probably go. I wouldn't put them next to each other like this. I'm just doing that so you can see what I'm doing. And then I just find me some gray value. I might even. No, I wouldn't do that. Let's just go. I can adjust this value, so it's not going to matter. And I'd go, okay, here's my painting. I don't like this brush. I'd go to my standard brush, whatever that is for you. And when you're doing a landscape, you're literally just blocking in these big shapes.
Yeah.
So I would probably just block that all in. And I'm going to take a lot of liberties with it, probably. I mean, it depends on how familiar you are with this stuff. And I actually don't care if it's all filled in either, because if you look, there's variations of color in there.
Yeah.
Variation of value. Then maybe I'm going to go, okay, that's good. And then maybe I just go to a little lighter value because there's not a big shape there. And start putting in these little variations of color from my hills.
I see what you're doing. Okay.
And then I go, okay, I don't like that edge, so hang on. And I just kind of start blocking this stuff in. I'd probably come up here and rough up the edge here and there. I don't want it perfect.
Yeah. I'm curious to know why you chose to start off with the gray value instead of a different color.
Well, if I'm going in, that's what I'm saying. If we're going in doing the same thing we did with the library thing, this is how I would build it.
Okay.
And then I could do exactly, so that way, let's just do a couple more things. You know, and then I start going, okay, is this going to be confusing? This like little bit of just a little water showing.
Yeah.
So this gets a little lighter in value. Actually gets a little darker on top. So now I could grab this and just go a little darker because this is getting closer. And I'd either pull it down a little, I'd probably put it right there and create this second mass. And then that's a little closer. So now I'm seeing some trees and stuff up there, right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, this lighter, there's some bluffs here, which are a lot lighter. So I just got to dial in that light value. You know, and I start creating the bluffs, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to finish it. And then, you know, shape those edges however I want. Maybe I use my mixer brush. Maybe I use this, whatever works for you. And then I'd probably put a little bigger gap here so I could put some water in there without it looking weird.
Yeah.
Or I might even lose this jetty. I don't know. It just depends. But then the same thing with the wave. Like you're doing the same thing where I'm coming in here and I'm going, okay, there's starting to be the wave shape. And this, again, I'm just going to block this all in. Now, I'd have the overall value behind it already, okay, which I don't here, but that's okay for now. You know, and I start creating this whole thing. I'd have to have a value behind this. So what I'd probably do for the value behind it is create another layer and just go, maybe it's all lighter. So I'm just going to go fill that whole layer. Oops. Fill this whole layer. And I'll stop here in a second. Okay, so there's my background wash. And then I got this, and now I'm looking at this going, okay, this is way darker. Right?
Yeah.
So I'd have to adjust this value here to get it closer to what I'm looking at. Get back on my wave layer. And I'm just, do you see how we're just blocking this stuff in?
Yeah. Yeah, you're slowly moving it in, like slowly adding shapes to it.
Yeah, and I just, and then I build into those shapes, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, once I get this all worked out, or, you know.
Yeah, so for the thumbnail, I just use the pencil brush and just try to make a solid outline just so I can get the message across.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all a thumbnail's for. I don't care about. You know, and then you're getting all this mist off the top of it, which I'll refine later. And then you go, okay, there's a little bit of light coming through up top right there. And then I go, what? I grab this again. Oops. Go a little lighter in value. Got light in there. You know, there's light here a little bit. And I just start blocking in my shape, and then I'll refine it. Okay? Now, the reason, now you could go straight in as color. That's fine too, right? But if I'm doing this, then I might go, you know, what color is this? And then I'll go, let's just, I'm just going to grab this whole thing. Hang on. You know, I could come up here, do just like we did with our Grisaille painting, go on color, and start blocking in the color on top of it.
Yeah.
So again, we're concentrating on one thing at a time, which I think is a really good way when you're not familiar with painting to start getting familiar with painting.
Okay.
You know, now if you want to go straight in with a color, that's fine too. But do you see how we're starting to just simply build it?
Yeah. It's like a jigsaw puzzle, just like slowly adding and working, you know.
That's exactly what it is.
the
Yeah.
frame first, and then you're working your way like inward. Okay.
And then you're looking at your shapes and going, oh, that I should soften that edge right there, and that goes a little. There's a little darker shape inside of that shape. I'll put that in there, and then you got to know when to quit. Like you don't want to put everything in there. You
Yeah.
got to know when to quit. Right?
Yeah. I was looking at wedge photos last night to figure out what can be like a good reference, and then for whatever reason, I switched over to Nazare, and so that's another reference I also kind of want to explore.
Yeah. Have you seen that? This is totally off track. Have you seen those images from? I think it's Peru. That monster wave in Peru.
I know what you're talking about. I forgot the name, but yeah.
It's terrifying.
Oh, it's called Punta de Lobos or something like that.
I don't know, but it's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane. Like that people have the balls to do that.
Oh yeah, people. I know in Hawaii there's something called Jaws, Waimea Bay.
Oh, Waimea Bay, yeah, pipeline.
And then in Fiji there's Shopu, which is just the thickest slab I've ever seen.
Hang on. Yeah, here it is. See if I can find. Hang on. There's this one image of this. It's like, I can't find it. Dang it. Oh wait, maybe it's here. I think it's I can't find it. Oh well. There's this image of it in Peru. I think it's Peru. And you can see the tower or whatever in front of it. And I don't know. It's psycho.
Oh,
I don't know how anybody
it's
does.
in that's Portugal. It's called Nazare.
Portugal. That's it. Wait.
Yeah, that was the other one that I was thinking about doing because it's such a massive wave. Oh my god.
Here it is. There's one where you can see the tower in the foreground. Makes it even more nightmarish.
Mm-hmm.
Might be this one. Oh yeah, this isn't the one. I can't find it. Every time I want to find it, I can't find it. You can go out to Mavericks too here in California when a swell comes in. Anyway, I can't find it. I'll find it later. Maybe he's like, okay, this isn't about surfing. Anyway,
I put it in
okay.
the chat if you want to take a quick peek at it.
Okay, so does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
And again, what I want to get going here is get the project going. Then we're working on it in class, and so the things you're having. I want to help you when you hit the wall to get past that. Okay. Again, because then we're learning our. Elan.
Yes, Mike.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking of, yeah, I really like the 3D depth map that we were working on that last assignment. So it gave me the idea of doing like background illustrations, probably using that or going the digital painting route. Yeah. So.
I mean, you can combine both, give yourself the sort of quick environment and then start painting into that, right?
Yeah, that too, yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm all about that. What's this one here?
That was sorry, that was more of the digital painting route. That was the other assignment that I did from your Friday class. That
traditional media?
Yeah, traditional media.
Look at this. Hang on. I know I'm going on tangents. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
That's not it. Back to it. Did I mention how much I hate Apple lately? Like, does everybody else have this problem where the stuff doesn't update on their computer? Look, this guy showed up the other day. Hang on.
Oh,
Isn't that cool?
that's not the. Is that the bear that you talked about last
No,
time?
that's Torpedo. This is a new bear.
Oh, it's a new bear.
He's cool. I hung out with him for about 10, 15 minutes. I had a whole bunch of footage of him, but of course the apple had disappeared. Look, here he is again. See him right there behind the bushes?
Oh, I do.
There he goes. He hung out after this. It was a trip. I don't know why I love bears. And he took off right here. There he is right there. What? There he goes.
Yep, there he is. Oh.
Well, I want to come over to your dad's soon.
Hmm? There he goes.
No.
Anyway,
I'm shopping. You want to come with me shopping?
big excitement up here. All
I
right.
might.
Okay, so what do you think?
I'm leaning towards the I'm leaning towards the maybe the ocean one, just because I can probably do a 3D depth map of like the ocean floor and
Oh, that's kind of a
coral
fun
reefs.
idea.
Yeah, and then maybe an underwater volcanic activity as well to add some warmth to the.
I always use that in underwater stuff, man. You know?
Yeah.
Okay, so you think this one?
Yeah, I'm thinking that one.
Okay. I don't have a problem with that. Yeah, I love
Okay.
that. That's a great solution, I think, right? So go look at
Yeah.
coral and all that kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, whatever. Just go look at underwater stuff and then just jump off the cliff, right?
Yep.
How are you going to do it? Are you going to build it as a Grisaille thing?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it as a Grisaille thing.
Okay. I just like that because it kickstarts my process really fast.
Yeah, for sure.
There's that one. So see, you can see how this kickstarts my process for this landscape, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Thanks, Mike.
By the way, that's the same way you don't do it Grisaille, but that's the same way you do a plein air piece, right? Big shapes, start working into the shapes, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Victor.
Yellow.
What do you think?
I got some random ideas.
So, okay, so what are we looking at here?
I don't know.
You know, it really doesn't have to make sense. It just has to be a project. Okay?
Yeah.
So are these things you're going to paint?
Yeah, I think so.
This one right here feels like a editorial illustration to me, so that's probably why I'm tending to go towards that one. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And then what's this one here? It's like a snail. What's this?
Snail with a hollow shell with a castle on top. It's pouring
Okay, if you're
water
going
out
to
the
do
back.
that, make sure you nail the design. Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, whichever one you want to do, make sure you nail the design. How are you going to approach this?
And I don't know yet.
Let's have that figured out by tomorrow. Like, pick which one you want to do, and then let's figure out our approach by tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
And then we can, you know, finalize it and blah, blah, blah. Because we only have tomorrow and then 3 days next week. Brandon, where you at?
Hello.
Okay, so what are you thinking? Portrait
Uh,
kind of thing?
Yeah, I was going for like a portrait, like painting style, but also implementing like things we've done throughout the whole course. Like, what is it?
That's what I want you to do.
Yeah, like a little bits of photo bashing, maybe like for like the
You
background.
could do a little of that. That's
and
fine.
then, like adding like all the other things like texture and all that.
Yeah, make sure that it's a good meaty project, okay?
Yeah.
That it's going to be something that challenges you and, challenges your, your skill set as of right now, okay?
Yeah, it looks pretty basic, but I'm trying to like make it as complex as possible. So.
One thing that might help you on this, if you want to do line work on it, is all those rusty nib brushes I gave you. There's a lot of good ink brushes in there.
Oh, okay.
And also, hang on. Just realized it. Let's just go to. Let's go to it. Let me see. Let's go. Okay. So I got this turned on really high where it says smoothing. You see that? What that's going to do is it's going to help my brush strokes be cleaner.
Like more curvy than like.
Yeah. So if I'm doing a curve, like let's turn this off. You see how they're a little bit.
Yeah.
And also make sure you hit R when you need to. Oops. Okay. Oh, what's going on with my machine today? It's weird. I've got something set up on here that's screwing things up, but I don't know what it is for now. R and turn your thing so you get a nice stroke. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Just like you do with your sketchbook or whatever. But what that's going to do is help you with your inking a little bit if you're going to do any inking.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that not giving me? Now I'm getting that OpenGL thing. God damn it. Anyway, make sure you turn your canvas. I don't know why mine's doing that.
Yeah. For sure.
There's a couple weird things going on with my computer today, and that'll just help you smooth it. I just heard two guys talking about this, and they go, "Oh, it's much cheating." And it's like, okay, number one, when you're working on a Cintiq or when you're working on one of these types of surfaces, there tends to be a little bit of a when you work on paper or whatever, there's a little bit of a drag and a little bit of friction. Does that make sense? And the way I look at this is it sort of puts a little of that back in. Okay, so I don't see it as like this big cheating thing. Now, what they were talking about is they go, this person looks like they were an inker or something, blah, blah, blah. This thing isn't going to make you an inker, but it's just going to give you a tool that kind of keeps that line of that flow or that flow of that line kind of clean.
Gives an edge, kind of.
Yeah, you can't look at these digital tools. The only time that these digital tools are cheating is when you don't know what you're doing and you're relying on the tool to try and do the job for you. And you're not going to look like some expert inker because of this tool. Sorry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the only time you're cheating on this stuff is if you don't know what you're doing. Other than that, these tools are here because it makes your job and your workflow better and quicker. And the reason you're looking at people and they're knocking out 3 amazing digital paintings for presentation in one day is because of digital, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're going to go down the rabbit hole of like it's cheating, then throw the computer in the pool because all of it's cheating then. If you're going to compare it to something else, that's stupid, okay? Stupid not to take advantage of tools you have here unless they're a crutch, okay?
Okay.
So you might want to go in and just, you know, if you're going to ink it, get a cool inky brush, and then, you know, and we can start to build into it. Okay.
Yeah.
So try and get your drawing completely done, right? Now, sometimes if you're doing, this kind of thing, you got to decide how much is going to be paint, how much is going to be line, and all that kind of stuff. Because you don't want to waste all your time doing a bunch of line work that's then going to get covered with paint.
Yeah, I was thinking more towards like the painting side and like less lines.
Okay. Then now you got to just go in and get your shapes right. Just get your design down.
Yeah.
Okay. So try and get that done, finished by tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll probably have like a comp.
Okay, good.
Done.
Perfect.
And then
Perfect.
somewhere.
Okay, perfect. You know, and find something, you know, similar to what you want to do. You know, maybe we can use that as a sort of a target. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to get, unless it's something that's just too easy, then I'm going to go, and you know, that's not going to work. I'm not going to get on you guys about style or whatever. This isn't about that. Okay. It's like, I hate anime. I hate all that crap. But if you find something, you go, I kind of want to do something like that, and it's anime, whatever. That, I don't care. Okay. There's a ton of anime on, I think it's either Netflix or, I think it's Netflix. I'm going to watch some of them, see if I can find some that I like.
Let us know which ones you end up liking.
And look, there's got to be something in that genre that I like. You know what I mean? There's no way that there's an entire genre that I hate. That's just not possible. Where's Nathan? Nathan? Oh, there you are. Nathan.
Right.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking maybe a top left.
Is that like a landscape?
Yeah, landscape and mountains in the back.
Okay. Is this like
the mountains with the 3D thing?
Is this like a tree thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably make the tree with like the mixer brush or something.
Yeah, however you want to do it. Do you want to approach it Grisaille, or you just want to go straight in color?
Maybe Grisaille. I don't know.
Yeah, you probably, if you're going to do the at least the part you're going to do with the 3D tool is going to be great, right?
Yeah.
So you might want to approach it that way. And then, you know, maybe as you come into the foreground, maybe you go straight in with color or whatever, okay? So get your design nailed down, okay?
Okay.
You know, and maybe pull some reference and go, I want to do something kind of like that, you know. Okay, that's fine. Get started, right?
Yeah.
And again, I want to, tomorrow when we come into class, I want to start helping you move these forward, okay? And I'm missing a ton of thumbnails.
Okay.
I don't understand that. Thumbnails are easy. Okay, hey, John.
I was just going to say, I threw mine in right now. I didn't know you wanted them in already. That was my bad.
Yeah, yesterday I made it very clear. I want to see thumbnails today.
I updated with some of the reference I was looking at too.
All right, don't get things in there late.
Yeah, my bad. I had a raging headache this morning, so my apologies.
Was its name Elan?
No, it was named Mac Apple.
Oh.
Yeah. I have that headache a lot.
No, I still have a migraine. I almost didn't show up, but my apologies, Mike.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm also kind of confused on what I want to do because we did all these cool techniques.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, do I want to do a landscape using some of the mixer brushes? Do I want to do
try and think of it from a project standpoint. Like, what do I want to do? Just like, what do I want to do? And then
the two
and
main
then
things
reverse engineer it and go, I'm going to do it like this.
The two main things I came up with were either like a concept scenery or a monster concept. So those are my different layers. And then one layer is some examples I was looking at.
Is this what I'm looking at here?
Yeah, those are more of the scenery, like castles or people getting sacrificed or something in a kind of environment setting.
This one here, is it like a lone figure in this big landscape?
Yeah. I was kind of thinking of that, like maybe a character coming in, maybe more silhouetted, not necessarily detail on the character, and then more emphasis on the landscape.
You can do that. I'm kind of attracted to that. You know, and they could be holding like a walking stick or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. I really didn't go for detail. I was going for
And then,
placeholders.
no, I don't want detail. And then this is sort of another variation on that.
Yeah, different angles. Most of these are different angles except for the top right and the middle right. Those are more of an inside like a cave or an altar kind of thing. But I think I want to do more scenic, like the 3 you picked.
I like these two.
Yeah, those ones are the scenic one I'm leaning more towards.
This
then
one's
I had
a little too 1 point perspective, this one.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I definitely set it up that way. But
yeah, the trick with any sort of perspective is that I don't want to know what kind of perspective it is. That makes sense?
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
You get people all the time, and it's just when you're new, you just tend to do this, and they go, they do the 1 point thing, and they go, right dead center, and then all the buildings on this side mirror the buildings on this side.
Yeah.
Road, and then a building here or something, And they don't think like, no, this one could be taller. Don't have to have a building there. Maybe I see the side of this and I see a window, and, maybe there's a dumpster here and maybe an awning, and you're breaking up that stuff so it's not so obvious,
Yeah, breaking up the shapes, adding some
because you don't want to know.
points.
This kind of thing, Maybe this
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe there's a fence here, whatever. Maybe there's a pole here, a light, It's still a little too, and then I'll break this ground plane up. Maybe I put a car or something here and here. And so I'm breaking it up so you're not noticing that it's a 1 point, right?
Definitely.
I mean, the good thing to look at for perspective is comic books, man, because they like push the perspective all the time.
Yeah.
They do those 3 points from above the city with Spider-Man and a flight above the city and all that. And then your eye goes to those 2 characters and the other stuff is a backdrop, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I would develop up this one and this one.
Okay.
So this one's got kind of a Monument Valley-ish kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Me like you. There was this really cool poster that one of my students showed me in my vector class, and I can't find it. And it was for a video game. And I think it was called like District something. And I think.
But it was 9, was it?
No, that was a movie, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think it was based on that. And I could be totally wrong. It bums me out because I can't find it. But it was really good example. It was done in vector. But it was really just a lot of flat shapes going back in perspective, and then sort of, it was like a dusty, like deserty environment kind of, or the atmosphere was like that. So it had all this sort of flat shapes, and they just went back in temperature and value. And man, it just worked, and it was super simple, but like, it didn't look super simple. It looked complex because of all the atmosphere and everything. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That's some of the examples I was looking at on layer 2.
Yeah, so when you're doing this kind of thing, I'd start off with just like the temperature fill, and then start working into those shapes. I just got 20 years older again, so I took my glasses off.
Okay, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Definitely.
Okay. And that's all the thumbnails I have, which is insane to me. Wait, no. Wait. Oh, wait. Noah. Where's Noah?
He still doesn't have a mic. He'll be typing shortly. There he is.
God, the way I like Zoom. I think it's a good program, but there's certain things that are weird about it. Okay. Yeah, I like that comment, Elan, about research and reference.
That's pretty much what we should be doing, I guess. So
Yeah, what you got to learn how to do is learn how to absorb and then and learn how to work with reference, right? Like I do a lot of stuff out of my head, but that's because I've done so much drawing and painting from life, right? And even then, if it was a client thing, I'm going to double check myself all over the place. Or I look at reference, gulp in all that information, put it aside because I don't want to be looking at it all the time. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Now that takes experience. You have to get good with your drawing, your painting, all that, and get comfortable. You know what I mean? Like when I used to have a class, like my Saturday class with my teacher taught me that stuff. I remember when he goes, like I'd go, you know, I'd be drawing the scene or whatever, and he'd go, composition's kind of, yeah. And I go, well, that's what it is. And he goes, I don't give a shit what it is. Move that building over there. You know, and I remember going, I can't move that building over there because what about all the perspective? You know, and then after a while you just go, it's a big box. You know what I mean? Move the whole box over there. That perspective is fairly simple, and then start building all the stuff on it. You know, give yourself permission to do that. Right.
Right.
I think a lot of us, and I don't know if you guys do, but I don't think I'm unique. You tend to have this thing of like waiting to get permission. I need to take this class. I need to learn this thing. And you do. I'm not saying that. But just jump in and start trying it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, yes, go take a perspective class and everything. We have a great perspective class. Take that class, you know? Okay, where's who's it talking to?
Noah in chat.
Noah.
Okay. Noah's got to get a mic. Where are we? I don't see you. Oh, there you are. Okay, Noah, what are you thinking? So we have these three. This one, and this one. Yeah. Okay. So Noah, what are you thinking here? Like, this is an original thing, I'm assuming, right? Logo probably won't be enough to chew on. And then what's this one here and this one here? No answer. Is this a color thing? You want to do a color thing on this? Okay, so you want to make this much more complex, right? Okay, very complex. Okay, I can go with that. I really want you now. Here's what I would do with that. I would go find some examples of insane coloring jobs on ink comic book pages and kind of use that as a guide. Not as a, you know, don't copy it, but just go, I want to take it to that level. Okay, because I think that'd be fine. Okay. So tomorrow, what I'd like to see with your thing is I'd like to see it 4 or 5 kind of comparable pages to how far you want to take it. And then we can look at how we're going to start it. Okay. Okay. All right, you guys. I don't know why I'm missing all these thumbnails. That doesn't make sense to me. I've got to finish the thumbnail stuff tomorrow. I have to, okay? Because we got to have time to work. Does that make sense? Wait, Sheena has one too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there's more. There's a few more in here than I thought. Okay. Okay, what are you thinking?
So the first 3 are those are book covers, and then the
I like
last
that idea.
Yeah, and then the last 3 are like album covers. So I like the middle one on the top, and then yeah, and I also like the come up one on the bottom, and then ground news on the left side. So I'm just kind of split in 3 directions.
This book, what is this person walking on? Are they buildings?
I wasn't so sure I was thinking like stairs or steps, but then I know for that one I would emphasize more on like the hot air balloon, and then make it more of like a sky blue background, a little
I
bit
think
more.
all that's cool. Like I like the imagery, but I think the steps I would make something more complex, like buildings or whatever you want to do, just to give it more complexity. And then maybe you could do even, you know, I don't know, the buildings could be ivy covered and old looking or brick or this or that or a little bit deteriorated or whatever. So then we have a lot of stuff to play with. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
How are you going to create it? Are you going to sort of photo bash it and then paint into it and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I was thinking of using like photography and then kind of make it like, there's some two-dimensional, there's some that's like realistic, and just put it together.
Okay. I mean, I like that idea. And then this one is what? This is a person, and then is this another person?
Yeah, so I wanted to take like the vase idea, and then there's two people there, and then Beautiful and the Broken. So it kind of explains itself.
I would do this one.
Okay.
So again, maybe tomorrow find a couple of things where you kind of go, I want to do something kind of like this. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then start pulling your assets, right?
Yeah.
And also, because I want to take this way further than the poster. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was I going to say? So I would have a couple of things where I kind of want to do something like this. And then, because it just helps me to help you get going with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, start pulling your assets, what you're going to use.
Okay.
You know? And by the way, I was going to tell you guys, I'll try and remember to do this by tomorrow. I want to show you guys something, this stamp brush thing that I do. And then I also have to go over the hair thing later. And my notebook's not in here. I'll try and remember. I have to do a little bit of prep for it just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. But I'll try and do it by tomorrow. If I got to drive out to LA, so who knows what time I'll get back. Does that all make sense, you guys?
Yes.
I put the final in the assignments. So that's for the last day, obviously. And then we're working now. I'll add a few things in here and there as things as I think. I like this part because now when I think of something, I go, oh, I can throw that in there. But we're probably going to have to solve a lot of problems in here and maybe delve into some more tools and things like that. Okay, does that make sense? I need everybody ready to go by tomorrow, okay? And if I don't have a thumbnail, you're behind already, okay? I have to know what your idea is before we start executing. Does that make sense? Hang on. I got to shoot my, hang on. I got to get the, I got to get this window. I'm probably going to be, this video I don't think is that important today anyway. So, but I probably won't put it up until when I get back from LA, because I just want to get that over with. Questions? We're all good? Hey, Sheena, I'd go look at some of those surreal covers that, I don't know if that's what you're looking for, but just for this kind of idea of sort of photo surrealism.
I was kind of inspired with like Pink Floyd's ideas.
That's what I was just going to say. Oh, right on. That's yes. Storm Thorgerson or something like that. You know that, right?
Which one? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Hang. Yeah. Yeah. The guy who's did those, that's his name right here. Storm Thorgerson. Right? So if you type that in, you'll get a lot of his like surrealistic images.
How do you spell his last name?
Thorgerson.
Okay.
You know, this kind of thing. I like all these weird, surreal, they look photographic, but they're just weird.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you need to share again, Mike?
Oh, sorry. Damn it. Well, there's his name right there.
Okay, gotcha.
And then all these surreal images. These are just great. Just from an idea perspective, A lot of these are pre-Photoshop. Anyway, that's the guy, okay?
And then how he makes it like very like clean, that's just like clone stamping.
Well, a lot of these are before Photoshop.
Oh.
Okay. Now, some of them probably are Photoshop. Some of them, like the later ones, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
How does he make them clean?
Yeah, because it's surreal, but it looks like it looks
real.
clean. Yeah.
Okay. Part of what that's going to be is sort of what we talked about. That your images don't look cut out. Okay. So we got to think about how we handle our edges and all that kind of stuff. And then another big part of it is what we talked about before, which is getting everything to feel like it's in the same lighting. Does that make sense?
Okay, lighting.
And I'll help you with all that, okay?
All right.
Like, that's the point of this, why I'm trying to get it started right now, because I'll help you. I want to help you as we're going on. I'm not just going to go, okay, just do it, and then hand it in on Wednesday. That's not how it's going to work. I want to sit here and work with you guys on it, okay?
Okay.
And then we're starting to really get into our problem solving and which tools to use and all that kind of stuff. And just like what you just asked, that's a great question, okay? That's a really good question. Why do these things look like weirdly real, even though they're clearly some sort of surrealistic thing, right? And the answer to that really is craft, right? He had very good craft, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But in our case, the way we're talking about it, this lighting and the things can't feel cut out and pasted on. They've got to feel like they're really in that environment, okay?
Okay.
Which probably pre-Photoshop was a total pain in the ass. Anyway, he's got a million of them. Look at this one. Like, this is
I like that one. Yeah.
This one here?
Yeah, because like there's people and then there's like this repeating person with shadows that kind of come across.
This is his website, by the way, Storm Studio, stormstudiodesign.com. He's dead now, I think. But so you can get all these. Look at this one. That's cool.
It's crazy. Yeah.
And you know what's really interesting about it? It's like, yeah, they're beautifully executed, but it's the ideas are cool.
Yeah.
I think it's more about the ideas being so damn cool. Look at that. That's cool. Like, you could just take a toy, which it almost looks like that might be like some sort of sculptural thing that sits on a desk or something. You just popped it in there. John kind of did that when he used those action figures to do his poster design. See, that's cool. Some of these he probably did a photo shoot and then manipulated them. But not all of them. I mean, that's so simple, but so weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's cool. I like that one.
Yeah. I like this. That's a great idea.
How his head kind of comes out of like the water, but it's a jellyfish underneath.
Yeah, it's just cool. And then he was smart. He used this like surface line, so he didn't have to, I mean, he blended it nice, but it sort of separated the two ideas, right? I mean, you can do all this stuff. You know how to do all this stuff now. It's just a matter of refining your skill set, correct?
Yeah.
Like once you, and then the other thing, you guys, when you get out of this class, or any class, go and do this. You have to do it. You can't take a class and then go, don't come back to it until 3 months later when you're in another class and you go, oh, now I got to do a poster for Steven's class. Oh, shit. I forgot all that Photoshop stuff. You know what I mean? You can't do that. You got to go in and I would say just work on things that you like doing. Have some fun with it. Just keep getting comfortable and more comfortable and more comfortable. You know, just give yourself projects that are fun, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
You can't just stop doing this stuff or you lose it, okay? At some point, it gets pretty cemented into your skill set. But you've got to get it cemented. Look, there's your floating thing. And I bet you if you go back through history and you find like flying dirigibles and things like that, you'll find probably crazy stuff that you could kind of pull from. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
People have probably made insane, that's cool, flying objects, you know, balloon objects or whatever forever. I mean, look at the Hindenburg. I think it was gigantic, you know? Okay, so there you go. This stuff looks very British, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Which is weird because you're like, why does it look British? But it looks, maybe it's just because I associate it with Pink Floyd. I don't know. But it looks really British to me, or European or whatever. Like, this is great, right? It looks like somewhere between a painting and a photo. And by the way, you could do that with that warp puppet tool I showed you guys, where you can just put, you had that image, then you just go boom, boom, boom through 3 points and bend it, right?
Mm.
Okay, but we'll get all to all that. All right, is there any other questions? I got everybody who gave me a thumbnail, right? Okay. All right, you guys, and I will see you at 10:30 in the morning. I want this nailed down tomorrow. So if I just approved your thumbnail, I expect you to have assets, examples of something at least somewhat kind of what you want to do. I know what Sheena wants to do now, so she doesn't have to do that. Unless there's other things, Sheena, that you want to add into that idea. And I got to have thumbnails approved by tomorrow. That's it. Okay, does that make sense?
Yep.
I'm going to probably, like I said, I'm probably going to, I mean, I didn't say a whole lot in here that I think is all that important, but I will put it up. But I will put it up today. I just have to, I have to go run this errand, and then I'll come back and I'll edit and put everything up. Okay?
Sounds good.
Okay, guys, I'll see you in the morning at 10:30.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks,
See
you
ya.
guys.